Hello and welcome to Whisky Sisters podcast. I am Inka Larissa.
And I am Jennifer Rose.
Together we will bring you a monthly whiskey podcast where we will be discovering drams, exploring distilleries, and talking to industry experts and catching up with our whiskey pals.
We will be sharing exciting whiskey adventures, sticking our noses into some whiskey news, keeping our drams on fire, of course, and cutting through any industry bullshit. So, buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Welcome to the Whisky Sisters podcast with Inka and Jen.
Welcome, listeners. It's good to be back.
It surely is. Hello, Inka. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Hopefully we don't have any sound issues today because last time was a bit of a shit show towards the end.
Oh, and massive apologies to Paul Main, our main man, Paul Main from Ardnahoe. He was super lovely and he said some lovely things that didn't even get caught in the recording. Like, for example, he's listened to all our episodes. How nice is that?
I know, so sweet. But yeah, we'll need to get him, I don't know, Instagram Live or something and we can talk about his dream drams and so on.
That sounds good. We'll pin him down at the Glasgow Whisky Festival this year and make a plan.
Yes. And maybe no singing from you. Although I do like your singing.
I'll try.
Paul is running away.
Oh, did I tell you I've got a karaoke machine now?
Oh, do you now? I always kind of assumed you had one.
Yeah, I've just got that feel about me. I pay for this app that gives you all the songs. So I'm like the queen of karaoke.
Yes, today we are sampling some whiskies from Arran, Lochranza distillery, and we have a log. That's how actually you say it in Finnish, because you just read how you say it. It's like log. Anyway, so this Lagg release is very exciting because it's the first small patch that has been released worldwide and not just at the distillery. So
that's cool.
Yeah. But let's stick our noses into the latest whiskey news before we go any further.
Indeed, let's get sniffing.
Stick your nose in it.
Jura Distillery replaced their 10-year-old whiskey with a new 12-year-old single malt, which will be a permanent addition to their core range. And it's said to be completely bursting with delicious flavours of peach, citrus and walnut, and perfectly encapsulates Jura's fruity and balanced house style. And they've also simplified the information found in the pack, as studies, I wonder what studies these are, but studies apparently show that many people find buying whiskey too confusing because of all the jargon on the package. So they're keeping it simple. So they've added some simple flavour notes with a scale that rates each of the 3 flavours on strength 0 to 6. So, for example, Jura 12-year-old has flavours of peach coming in at 4, citrus coming in at a crispy 3, and walnut also at 3. And technical information about the whiskey has been kept to a minimum and using language that everyone can understand, and it leads with that flavour. However, those that are interested in a bit more geekery, details on cask journey, maturation, etc., can find some more details via the QR code on the pack, and that'll take people to the Jura website for all the deets.
Funny, there's like a lot of 12-year-olds recently, because Glen Scotia just released that new 12-year-old for the part of their core range.
I was actually thinking at some point I'd like to do a wee episode on Jura, because I think it's often a kind of overseen, like a lot of people think meh, and I think let's not just bypass Jura. Let's jump in and see what's going on.
Hey, that's a good idea, because that's the thing. There's mixed opinions on Jura. Some people really love it. Others just really don't. And like, I wonder if it's like, is the core range or is it like all the special ones are really nice and like more exciting, or is there more balance. Yeah, because I've not really been drinking too much of it.
Let's do it. I have a nice relationship with Jura because I have nostalgic drinking memories with lovely Charlie Hogg on the Isle of Mull. And I have that, emotional association with lovely Dram shared and it being very sippable. But I want to give it more kind of focus and time and not just be in that kind of emotional space about it.
Good idea. Good idea. So watch this space. Okay, this one now, and we might as well go from new whiskey news to whiskey bullshit because the next one is absolute rubbish.
Whisky Sisters, Whisky Bullshit.
So Sabrina Carpenter for Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the young woman that did the sort of sexy recent advert, right?
Yes. She's got a multi-year deal with Johnny Walker.
Has she?
Yes. So the recent ad was basically her in a black dress and high heels, open back, kind of looking sideways, and the bottle just belongs next to her or behind her. Let's talk about the audience first. I think her main audience is like from 12 to 20 or something like that.
Because I had to Google her when the advert came out because I thought she was like a pop star singer, but I wasn't too sure. Okay, so she's quite a young audience.
Loads of people said that they had to Google her because, she's got quite a young audience. Obviously, there's a bit older, like for example, for the US market, you can't even drink before you're, 20, 21?
21, yeah.
So you can't even market for those people. And anyway, like even the slightly older ones, I don't know, are they...
So is it more about bringing sexy Sabrina to the current whiskey market than bringing whiskey to Sabrina's audience?
Well, that's what confuses me because I think what they're kind of saying that they can reach younger audience and all that kind of stuff. But then the younger audience, they just drink, I don't know, bubble tea and matcha.
Matcha, yeah, for sure. Jen said they're pretty healthy.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if they would reach for whiskey and whiskey cocktails. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Johnny Walker says her fearless creativity and deep connection with the new generation make her a powerhouse addition to Johnny Walker family. It's weird. But the style, I think, of those adverts are basically identical to the Black Velvet Canadian whiskey ads from the 60s to early 90s. Do you remember those?
Yes, which, looking back, you think, holy smoke, were they allowed to, do that? But I guess they were more of the time.
They called the women in these adverts back in the day, were called black velvet ladies or velvet girls. And they were wearing black velvet dresses with open backs and channeling that luxury and seduction and totally aimed for the male audience. So then Johnny Walker says that their ad, which is honestly almost identical, says that it represents creativity and boldness, but it's basically a copy, I think, of what's done before, reinforcing traditional gender roles, basically. And the question is, I want to ask you basically, if the visual language still leans heavily on glamour and that sex appeal, how is that empowering? Like Johnny Walker is making sound like it's empowering or challenging the norms, because it's not.
Yeah, I think there's lots of layers to this entire topic, isn't there? Part of me just thinks I would kind of appreciate more. Look, it's good marketing because it gets people talking. She's popular already. She's like a known name in lots of places. And we don't care about, kind of being modern. We just want to make it kind of old school and sexy. I think I would respect that more if that was the kind of the tagline, but I know that's not at all politically correct. So I think it's very contradictory and I don't think it lands as their description. What about you?
No, exactly. And they mentioned that they kind of, with this ad, they nodded to the golden age of spirit advertising, which again makes sense a little bit because it's literally like the same ad. But then they said that they layered it with Sabrina's bold yet timeless aesthetic, clever humor, and a modern wink to make it unmistakably her own. How is that her own? Because it's literally a copy. How is it humorous, or what is modern about it?
Yeah. See, when I Googled her, I saw that her album cover is like somewhat risky and she's on her hands and knees, like, and you see a guy's legs. And do you know what it was giving me? Have you ever seen the movie Spinal Tap?
Oh, not for ages.
Right, it's one of my favourite movies ever, and I know the movie inside out. But anyway, in this, there's this whole hoo-ha with the record company because the band, or one of the band members, wants to do the album cover for the album "Smell the Glove" of this like woman being super submissive, like sniffing on this glove, right? And it's all like tongue in cheek, kind of like taking the piss out of the ridiculousness of that time and genre. And anyway, they don't get it passed. And her album cover made me think, oh, it's very Smell the Glove.
Yeah, I guess the whole point of that, what I've read, is I think she's not trying to be, I think she's kind of taking the piss, but then it's still, if your audience is that young, they don't necessarily get all the little nuances of what you're trying to say. And like I've never really listened to any of her songs, so I was reading some of the lyrics, and one song is literally about getting drunk and calling like all your ex-boyfriends or any kind of guys that you could just hook up.
Okay.
So it's a bit...
Yeah, I don't know any of her songs, I've got to say.
And she doesn't even like whiskey. There's literally videos of her online where she's holding her nose while she's trying JD and then some Scotch whiskey, and she's like pulling faces and like nearly puking and be like, ugh. And there's interviews where she says that she hates whiskey. So why? I'm sure there would have been way better female, if they're trying to reach female audiences. Lots of brands should aim for like 35 and above women, because they will have, someone actually pointed online as well, like they would have more money to buy whiskeys as well, and they probably drink more than your 22-year-olds.
I wonder if it is appealing to the male audience, maybe like a young pop star, would that make them choose one whiskey like over another? Would that influence that? I don't know if that would influence whiskey purchasing, but it's certainly got lots of people talking about it and
definitely
debating. And I think that's kind of modern marketing, it's very powerful, isn't it? If that's the case.
Well, that's the thing. I was trying to think like, well, because I'm always poo-pooing all the celebrity marketing, but then I was thinking like, if there's anything with Metallica's name on it, I'm always like, I'll have to get it. I'll buy it. I'll try it. So I guess it works, but maybe she's just not my audience.
I am very...
I'm not her audience.
I've got my total cognitive biases, and I guess, like, how we were recently talking about Harrison Ford, and a lot of people were calling that out, like, oh, it's some stereotypical old guy, whatever. And I was like, but it's Han Solo, and like, I like him. So I think a lot of my biases come from, like, do I like that artist? What do I think of that? Are they being like cheeky and pushing back on being more modern or being progressive? But is it like not land? Like, do you know? So I personally don't get it. I think it's like a bit boring, and I don't actually imagine. I don't actually imagine it like being super exciting.
No, exactly.
To any kind of group. Like, I think people can think, oh, she looks pretty or whatever, and it gets people talking. But in terms of influencing drinking or purchasing behaviours, I'd be super shocked if that seems to be very successful.
Yeah. So I'll just leave one more question or two questions for our listeners. Let us know what you think. So can campaign be progressive if it still uses traditional visual cues, or is it just a more polished version of the same thing? We would love to know what your thoughts are on this.
And if anyone has bought the whiskey based on that new ad, we would love to hear what you liked about it and what influenced and what your whole vibe was. That would be super cool to hear.
Whiskey Sisters!
One more thing. Did you see the One Cask at the Time event in Edinburgh? The new independent bottler. I think they invited us as well.
Was that the one that was super duper fancy? No.
Yeah.
Was it quite? Yes, I think I did see bits of that.
So that was apparently a very weird thing. Turns out that the company is a new independent bottler and is basically owned and funded, or at least funded by VCL, which is like a Cask investment company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when there's a lot of chatter about the scams around like investments and things like that. So I think they had some not so favorable reviews and stuff as well. So there's a theory that maybe, you know, because they are now funding this independent bottler. So maybe they were like providing an exit for some of their investor clients, buying back their casks and now putting these whiskies into bottles. I don't know. Everyone, all the whiskey influencers and other influencers were there, and it just seemed really weird, the whole event, that they had that one dancer just crawling all over the place. And apparently it was really hard to even get into their whiskeys, that they had like a couple of bottles for like 200 people. It was just crazy.
Wow.
Some of the influencers had stayed in really fancy hotels and they were gifted bottle of, you know, 17-year-old or 20-year-old whiskey or something. And then half of the influencers stayed in some second-rate hotels and got like tea and biscuits.
Top tier influencers and pretty shabby
Yeah.
influencers.
I know. Everyone who came from London basically got a first class train journey with lots of whiskies and stuff, and the other people just some people actually even had to pay their own way to get there. So that was just really badly organized. It just made me think of, because do you know Blair Bowman? He basically, so he's always been talking about the cask investments, and he's quite a big deal in the whiskey industry anyway.
And he's been very forthright at kind of calling the smash out way before, you know, other people were calling it out.
Yeah. So quite some time ago, he had this kind of theory about these cask investment companies having to buy back some of these casks. On one of his things, he wrote that I can't help but wonder if this will lead to a wave of generic single malts or teaspoon blended malts being brought to the market. Basically, I feel like this might be happening just now.
Wow. It seems like an awful indulgent kind of use of any budget as well, like having such a big fancy event and paying people, but then the substance of the spirit not being accessible. It sounds like all like fur coat and no knickers, if that's the right phrase.
Yeah, exactly. What people have said about the whiskies so far, that they weren't that exciting.
Hello, is that the Whisky Sisters?
So I was in Arran for 10 days earlier this summer and paid a visit to Lochranza again with some Finnish friends. It was quite nice visiting the distillery with them.
Oh, nice.
And the tour guide was so fun, because last time I really enjoyed the tour last time it was private tour, but then the tasting was with the group. And this time we did the tour with the group as well. And like the people who work there are just so great and so fun.
Oh, that's lovely. It's lovely just to have great positive experiences when you go, and then consistently if you're back.
Exactly. I think it's nice that they definitely have that consistent feeling as well. So we sampled some of the single cask releases that are distillery exclusive, or single cask, what they called private cask, the collection. And one I tried on the day was the 13-year-old bourbon that I actually sent you. I'm not sure if you had time to sample it at all, like if you have any thoughts.
I've not tasted it, although I have nosed it, and I have to say I really like it on the nose.
Yeah, so don't feel like you need to rush with it or anything. But main reason I sent it to you, because I obviously already tried it, but I just wondered, like, because it really showcases Arran style, like, really well. So that's why I wanted to send it to you, just for your
There's a lovely crisp fruitiness on the nose, but I'm also getting, like Kinder Bueno gooiness also on the nose.
You know, the new make, I don't know if you've tried it, but it's super fruity.
Yes.
And anyway, like Arran whiskies are often quite sweet and have that kind of heavier, like, mouthfeel creaminess. I feel like this 13-year-old bourbon, although I think they had a 9-year-old as well, but bourbon cask in it anyway really helps to showcase the DNA of the distillery. So I just thought it was really interesting and really nice. If anyone ever wants to just, because sometimes with all the cask finishing and all these loads of flavors, it can be just tiring or too much. It's nice to kind of strip it back and just really, and focus on what the distillery is all about.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed any changes in your whiskey preferences as of late, because I feel like I've recently kind of got fed up with lots of wine casks and all these different things, and I've been drinking more bourbon casks and virgin oak and things like that.
That's so interesting, isn't it? That leaning away from what there's been so much of and something maybe a bit crisper and simpler on the palate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good food for thought. I think I'm definitely really enjoying the gently peated but maybe finished in kind of wine casks or sherry casks. And that's something, like now I'll see your Dram and think, oh, I'm looking forward to trying that, whereas I would have still had that hesitancy in things before.
That's funny. I feel like we're got reverse roles. I've even enjoyed some more classic sherry styles that I normally didn't like. That's what you used to drink. Now we're
for sure.
Keeps the balance for the podcast still open.
Yeah, for sure.
So we also, oh my God. So quick gossip. So there was amazing champagne cask from the latest Harmony cask that they do every year. That looks like a guitar, the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that there's going to be another champagne cask possibly next month. Out for so I need to keep an eye on that, because that champagne cask that I tried, it was amazing, really, really good.
Very nice. Did it remind you of the Paul Lenoir Ardnamurchan Dram or not especially?
No, not really, actually. It was kind of, I guess, sweeter because it's Arran as well, but I don't know. Yeah.
Nice.
It's quite a while since I tried the Paul Lenoir, but obviously different champagne probably as well. But yeah. It was so good.
Very
and
nice.
I tried cask number 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like Coca-Cola colored and very kind of sherried, but it was really nice.
Literal cask number 1, from the 90s.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Exactly. And it was quite funny because my Finnish friends were there, and it was just 3 of us after their tasting was finished, and we got extra resamples. And I think they just think I'm very cool now because I got them the first time.
Yeah, rock star vibes. I love that.
I know.
That's really nice. That's they sound as if they've given you a real treat.
Yeah, definitely. We, after one of our hikes, we went to a pub and I spotted the Lagg tequila cask, which was one of the small batches that was only available at the distillery, and it was unopened. So they opened it for me, and they're like, "Oh, no one's ever asked to try it," and looking at me and saying "Oh, it's 60% or something." Yeah, it's fine. It gets saying it. It's probably because I'm a woman, honestly. And then I'm yeah, it's fine. I like tequila and I like Lagg. Just open it, give it to me. So anyway, I was really happy, just nosing and stuff. And I left the room to go out, went outside, and my friends were still ordering. And they told me that there's this other guy from the staff came, and it's oh, which one did she order? And it was everyone's really shocked that I ordered Lagg, because it was peated. It's nearly 60% ABV. It's a tequila cask. So honestly, I think that was proper that kind of stereotypical
big news.
She's woman. How can she, are you sure you're going to like it kind of situation? And my friend, one of them is a guy. So he was quite shocked that they were so shocked, So he came outside and he was telling me oh my God, they were just totally couldn't believe that you just ordered that. And the guy just kept asking all these questions. And it made me wonder that, when women talk about these situations where they get that stuff happen, maybe I just don't notice them. I'm just too busy already nosing or turning my back. So I always miss all the...
Yeah, whatever.
Nothing's ever happened to me that I've noticed or heard anything. But I just thought it's
you're just filtering out.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though. Like, fuck's sake.
And part of me thinks like, oh, are they being protective? Do they think, you're somebody that's like maybe just picked something randomly and like it's gonna blow your head off, and they're like concerned?
Yeah, I
And
guess.
part of me thinks like that's quite sweet, whether it's a man or a woman. But I guess, it
Yeah, I
maybe
guess.
is some of those
Yeah.
biases that people are holding, like, and like taken by surprise.
Yeah, but then I guess, I order very confidently.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I come across like that. I would be like, oh, well, maybe I do ask questions sometimes if I'm not sure, if I can't decide. So I can see, what you mean, that maybe they just wondered, just like, maybe you want something a bit lighter.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Baby sham for madam.
Yeah, I went back and ordered something else as well, like something other Lagg or something.
Nice.
But it's a beautiful island.
It's so beautiful. In fact, let's listeners talk a bit more about the beauty of the island. So the Isle of Arran was officially designated as a UNESCO Global Geopark this very year, April the 17th, 2025. So what does that even mean? UNESCO Global Geopark status, it recognises areas with geological heritage of international significance. And for lovely Arran, and I always remember actually Mariella of Arran and Lagg that we had in the podcast way back. She was one of our first guests, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I always remember her saying like Arran was Scotland in miniature. And I thought, that just really encapsulates it. But anyway, this UNESCO Global Geopark status includes for Arran over 600 million years of Earth history, rare species like the Arran whitebeam, one of the world's most endangered trees, rich biodiversity with over 1,000 plant species and 156 bird species, efforts to revive the Gaelic language, and the designation also highlights Arran's climate action efforts, including the restoration of over 260 hectares of upland peat bogs, up the peat, which play a vital role in carbon storage and biodiversity.
Yeah, we saw loads of wildlife when we were there. Like, probably counted like 50 different types.
You're so good, Inka, with your hiking and everything. I'm one of those Scottish people that just like, I love the landscape, but usually just like from the car or the pub. Do you know what I mean? Because I've lived in it and used to have to trek here to there. I'm just like, whatever.
Well, you can see the seals very much from the pub window. You don't necessarily have to leave.
No, but I love to hear people that actually properly walk the land.
Yeah.
Hike. Go you.
So talking about the peat bogs, here we have Jaclyn from Lochranza Distillery giving us a little update on the peat restoration project, which has been going on for nearly a year now, as well as the involvement with Arran Coast Organisation.
Hi, Inka and Jen. Thanks a lot for letting me hijack the conversation a wee bit here with an update on our peatland restoration project work, which is going very well. So the first phase of work on the Duero estate has been completed. That took place right throughout winter between November 2024 and the end of February this year. So in phase 1, the groundwork that was done was drain blocking, hag reprofiling and gully re-landscaping. And the aim of all of this was to return the dried out peatland to its natural sort of bog-like wet state. The hope is that we're establishing the sort of habitat that will allow a range of different species to thrive. The estate owner, the contractors, the project managers have all been amazing to work with and allowed our Lagg distillery manager Graham to come out on site and see the start of the work. And we're setting up an education session for our entire teams, both at Lagg, Lochranza and Stirling, for this autumn. So the next step is drone photography, which is being done later this month, and that will monitor how things have been progressing on phase 1. And then phase 2 of the project will start at the end of October. In addition to that, in November, we're taking part in an SWA workshop alongside other distillers, maltsters and third-party peat extractors to establish best practice guidelines for peat extraction. It's part of research that's been carried out with and for the SWA over the course of this spring and summer. So we've committed to funding the site and the monitoring for the first 5 years post-restoration, and the entire project will take place over a 55-year period, which was something that really struck a chord with us. It's not always possible for people involved in a project like this to see it from beginning to end. However, some of our younger team members might just have the chance to do that with this project, and contribute towards the preservation of their home island, which is pretty lovely. In addition to Lagg Distillery's work with Duero, I was going to tell you about a new partnership that we've just formalised between Lochranza Distillery and the organisation Arran Coast, which we did in June this year. Coast stands for Community of Arran Seabed Trust, and it's a community-led organisation that looks after the conservation and restoration of the seas around Arran. And they, coincidentally, are also celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. 30 years of pretty outstanding work, which started at the south of the island, where they have already established Scotland's only no-take zone in Limlash Bay. And that was followed by the wider South Arran Marine Protected Area. And ongoing research in these zones has demonstrated that protection provided by these community-led measures has enabled seabed habitats and marine life to recover. And so now they're focusing on the north of the island. Coast have a new project entitled Communities in the Sea, Exploring Our Coastal Waters. And that's centred on habitat health assessment and baseline data gathering in seas around the north of the island, including Lochranza. So they're looking to secure protections around currently unprotected coastal waters and engage with local people to lead the work, which will go towards the recovery and biodiversity restoration in this area. It's really an opportunity for communities Arran-wide to engage deeper, and we really want to support Coast both financially and with our time through employee volunteering and engagement and education, really just to try and encourage others to engage similarly. So lots of exciting stuff going on.
Dram on fire.
The first release today is the third edition of Arran's signature series. This one is called Duero Discovery, made using red wine casks. Oh, I just said I'm bored with red wine. So made using red wine casks from the northern Spanish wine region that follows Duero River. 12 years old, initially aged 6 years in first and second fill bourbon, and then transferred into first fill Spanish red wine casks to mature in the Dunwich warehouse for further 6 years. And this is 50% ABV, priced at reasonable 70 quid. What are we thinking? I love the first two signature series. I've been a big fan.
I think it's a nice sunshiny colour.
Yeah, I was thinking, I wrote apple juice.
Yeah. I think initially I found it super fruity, lots of mango, papaya, and even like foamy banana, sweeties, fruity initially. I find it a little bit more kind of caramelized now it's been aged for a while. But I also got kind of like candied sweetness. And it made me think of those sweeties I've not had for years called cherry lips.
Yeah, definitely sweet stewed fruits, apple crumble. I wrote caramelized peach as well. Maybe a bit of dark chocolate with some sea salt, crust nuts.
Oh,
Or those little end bits in the bags.
Yeah. Oh, like nut sawdust in the bottom of a nut bag. Yeah.
And I think definitely with air, it can be even stickier, like sticky fruit juice. Or like when the fruits get all...
I'm keen to hear what you got in the palate, because at first I found it quite overpowering and didn't get as many descriptives as I would have imagined after nosing it. So what did you get on the palate?
I was getting those kind of pink and white mushroom sweets.
Okay, again, yeah.
Yeah, the foamy ones. Juicy black currants, strawberry jam birthday cake, maybe some like aniseed of fennel as well.
Okay, interesting. At first, I found it so licoricey and so fennelly. That's kind of like was overpowering my palate for a while. I was like, came back to it and found it like it kind of mellowed into maybe like a buttery shortbread, but still found it quite strong on that fennel note.
I find it kind of, I get that there is like initial something, but it really sweetens as well. Like the finish is candy floss and meringue with then some oak and maybe like a tiny black pepper aftertaste.
I totally can get on board with your blackberry right enough on the palate I was having a wee sip as you were saying that there. And yeah, I can agree with that completely.
Also, do you remember last episode when Paul was saying how he's always like now into the mouthfeel and the texture?
Yeah.
I feel like this one is kind of like he said, always mouth-watering.
Like giving you like a juicy mouth-wateriness after.
Yeah, like the initial palate, when it starts to go more on the finish side, it still kind of gives my mouth watering.
I actually found that dead interesting when Paul was saying that. And that's, and I thought, I wonder, even like people that just are whiskey sort of enthusiasts and enjoy, I wonder what it is. Is it aspects of their nosing or tasting or mouth like, that are their kind of primary source of kind of gratification and enjoyment from the whiskey? Yeah, it was really interesting to hear.
I enjoyed this one, but like I said earlier, I'm a little bit bored with wine casks. So maybe that was a bit of a hindrance for me with this one. And I really liked the first signature series was like being in a candy store. It was super sweet, but like not like sickly gross. I still enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, and the second one was the barrel bonfire, which was a peaty number, but also still had that sweet classic sweetness from them. Yeah, like again, there is that sweetness that is noticeable, Arran, but I don't know. I'm just a bit bored with red wine casks.
Oh, well, I'm intrigued to hear you say that. I thought I would like it more than I did. I thought it was delicious on the nose, but I was a bit disappointed, sorry, Arran, on the palate, because I really have loved every Arran that I've tried before. It's such a delicious distillery, and I thought maybe it's just not my day to be kind of loving it, but I did find myself a little bit disappointed at that on my palate, overpowering licoricey fennaliness. Next up is Arran Sherry Cask, the Bodega, which was added to their core range back in 2019. And it's said that this bottling, sorry for any background noise, my wee puppy is shaking me here. It is said that this bottling was a return to the style of some of the earliest Arran single malts, which were mostly aged in sherry casks. And this is bottled at 55.8% ABV and priced, I would say, a super reasonable £50. Okay, and it's a non-age statement, but is perhaps around 7 years old.
Light sunsetty, goldeny colour.
Yeah.
When I first tried it, I was getting salted caramel, like a burnt caramel on the nose. I don't really get it now. Maybe a little bit of caramel, but it's not as strong. A coffee cake, chocolate-coated raisins, and some fig jam.
Oh, yum. I got hazelnuts, which made me think of your last notes on the palate there of kind of crushed nuts, but kind of like squashed down hazelnut. Toffee apple, maybe some Granny Smith apple, and then maybe a chewing Highland toffee I got on the nose initially.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the apple now as well. But yeah, toffee apple is a good shout. On the palate, winter spices.
Yep.
Black cherries, black currants, blackberries. I love berries. And then something herbal, like some sort of dried herbs, perhaps.
Ah, okay. I think, definitely those dark berries, completely on board with that. I'm thinking of like a dark berry fruit crumble, maybe a kind of chili jam sweetness with a kick, but a bit of maybe white pepper spice. But again, I was getting fennel, but nowhere near as strong as the first whiskey.
There's a little bit of a
herbally thyme or something.
Yeah, and like a warming kick, like a kick initially. Feels almost chili-like this time. Previously on the finish, I wrote nuttiness, dried pink peppercorn. Oh, and I did say licorice on the palate as well. But like, yeah, some pink peppercorns maybe.
The ones that you would get in this like pepper sauce when you get a steak.
Well, on those green peppercorns. And sometimes they put them in gins and stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I preferred this whiskey to the first. What about you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I had a mouthful of whiskey. Yeah.
I found it juicy and more like it's kind of more of what I would expect from Arran, like deliciousness.
I really enjoyed this. And I think even now I feel like I get more of the caramel on the palate than I did before. No, I enjoyed this. a lot. Like, it's a good core range release.
Yeah.
Arran does core range really well, I think.
Yeah.
The 10-year-old is amazing, award-winning, always, as we discovered. It was definitely the best from all the 10s that we tried. This one is really nice. I'm sure the rest of them. And they also do those, those wine cask versions, which I do like the Amarone ones. But even that, I'm a little bit bored because I've been drinking it so much, but it's really nice. It really is.
Privileged problems.
I know. God. Okay, so we do have one Lagg. It's not all about Lochranza. We did do a Lagg episode was that the one with Mariella? Oh, we did talk about both of them. But anyway, so Lagg Paulo Cortado. Last year, I was very much into Paulo Cortado. If you remember as well, at the Glasgow Whisky Festival, we were serving Paulo Cortado aged. And I feel like last autumn or winter, there was quite a few whiskies with Paulo Cortado, which is a type of sherry special style. I was very excited to try this. So initially, this is aged in ex-bourbon and then further 6 months in Paulo Cortado, bottled at 56.2% ABV. And obviously, Lagg is the peated sister of Lochranza.
If you get the chance to go, if you haven't gone already, the distillery is mind-blowing, and the food in the kind of like cafe restaurant is
yum 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 yum.
I know. Oh my God. I had the fish
So
platter and it was so good. And I had all these whiskeys and the fish platter, and I was admiring the amazing view.
It is such like, oh my goodness, it is like delicious in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and they do a really good tour about the what's the word? The whiskey history and where the smuggling. What is the illicit distilling? Oh my God! Sorry, I got a bit of a headache today, so I'm a bit slow. But yeah, that tour is really good. I definitely recommend it.
Hang on, sorry, and Murder's eating my leather jacket. No, baby,
no.
I forgot I left that there. Sorry. Right, okay. Focus, Jane. Okay, so
small batch limited edition expression. This is the first time ever that they released it for global markets. The tequila and the Tokai, the previous ones, were only available at the distillery, and it were amazing, so good. Let's see what we think of this.
I think on the nose, giving lots on the nose, right? Beach bonfire, wood shavings in a kind of like workshop. Scottish seaweed, that kind of sea air, but not really strong and pungent, but just something really like light and fragrant. Juicy grapes on the nose. Sherry soaked sultanas also I was getting. And I don't know if you've ever like had those little charcoal discs that you burn with a lighter until the embers go red, and then you burn like real incense in the top. Or like frankincense or something. Have you ever like done that?
I don't think I have.
It gives the scent of those charcoal discs when you're heating them for your hippie incense. I was getting that on the nose.
Now that this has been this definitely needs a bit more air, because at first I was a little bit confused by it. It wasn't giving me as much, but now I'm getting apricot. There's some nuttiness. At one point it's getting even a little bit of coconut. Or like coconutty chocolates, some toffee. The smoke is kind of afterthought, like subtle sweet smoke. I'm now even getting something like a sticky pork or that kind of sweet sauce and something meaty, so possibly pork. And also something outdoorsy, mushroomy edge.
Oh, I wonder if that's like my version of the seaweed.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Mushrooms and seaweed on our coastal walk, Inka.
Yeah, that could be it. It's nice. That's like, I like that kind of weird kind of...
Yeah, me too.
So that works really well for me. How about the palate for you?
You go first, because I'm actually just thinking, what did I write for the palate? Because I was so enchanted by the nose. I need to remember, if you don't mind going first.
Orange oil, tried cumin or something like that.
Yes.
It's almost fizzy.
Yeah.
There's some spice like ginger, perhaps. Even a bit of oiliness coating at the top of the mouth a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of, I can't really put words for it.
I think, just so you're saying there, interestingly, that kind of fishiness. and the oiliness of fish. You know, like a mackerel is oily. And I'm not saying this is anywhere near like as pungent as a strong mackerel, but if you could have like a mackerel intensity dial and turn it right down, there is a kind of viscosity and like white fishiness. But like
Oh,
mackerel dial down.
I meant fizzy. Like fizzy.
I thought you said
Fizzy.
fishy.
No, fizzy like F.
Oh, like
F-
fizz. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
I need to clean my ears. I thought you said
No,
fishy.
that's probably just my pronunciation.
That's so
But
cute.
although, like, I wouldn't be surprised with a little bit of fish in there as well.
But like not as in like fishy fish, but I think, you know, like that smokiness can sometimes put your mind towards the fishiness.
Yeah, I know. That's what happens a lot. But I mean, like, more on the texture. It's like almost sizzling in your mouth.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at her. Fizzy fishiness.
The thing is, nuttiness. I was thinking like almonds. We have oak. Oh, something a bit ashy, bonfirey, tobacco-y aftertaste. Like after bonfire, still tasting it in my mouth.
I think like a viscosy, creamy, mild, fishy, nutty, smoked sweetiness. I'm not doing very well with my descriptives, but it's very, very full, you know, like it feels like really depthful.
It has definitely that Paulo Cortado vibe with all the nuttiness. I don't know, it's like even the kind of slightly coastally, warehousey, Dunagey vibe. It's probably not my favorite of the Tokai and the tequila. I love those and I wish they would have released those for everyone. But I don't hate it. I would quite happily sip this. Maybe it's just struggling to, or like maybe it doesn't have that many flavor. You know, like sometimes you just get loads and things comes to mind.
But the more I'm sipping this, the more I'm enjoying it. I do really like it. I think it's lovely. And it makes me think a wee bit of like creamy smoked cheese and like, you know, the kind of like nutty Scottish oat cakes.
Yeah, oat cakes, definitely oat cakes. No, I'm enjoying it as well. But I think compared to the other previous ones,
okay,
it falls a bit short.
Well, I really like this one actually. This is so nice.
What would you say was your favorite?
Lagg. Lagg was not lagging behind for me. I'm surprised, but it's a surefire winner out the 3 Drams for me. This Lagg is.
Yeah, I would say Lagg or the sherry, but probably Lagg. There's something like rounded about the mouthfeel or something. I don't know. It's just sits very well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sending me these whiskies. They're very nice.
Well, thank you for Lochranza and Lagg distilleries. You know, I'm liking all the peated new whiskey brands like Lagg, Doravik, Anaho.
Yeah.
All just like bringing out all these bangers, aren't they?
The new wave of peaty bangers.
Oh, and I've just lined up a Doravik, some samples and a little episode, and we can talk about this because when I was there earlier this summer and we were talking about the different layers of peat and how it actually works, and it was super interesting. So I've organized someone to come and explain it to our listeners because I won't do very well trying to explain it.
That sounds good.
You've been listening to the Whisky Sisters podcast.
So thank you, Inka. Next month is Halloween month. And not that I want to say we're the queens of Halloween, but anybody that's been listening or looking at our socials over the past few years, we do love a cheeky bit of Halloween, so we will not let you down this year. And next month, we will be teaming up with an independent bottler to bring you some ghostly whiskey reviews. Hannah Whisky Merchant, known for their Lady of the Glen whisky range, released their second Sabine series of 6 single cask whiskies celebrating Scotland's eerie and mythical past. And it includes whiskies such as, thank you, Mardo, for the background noise. It includes whiskies such as The Wizard of Gordonstown, Outruns the Devil, which is an 11-year-old whiskey from Milton Duff, and The Ghost of Dumbarton Castle, which is a 31-year-old Strathclyde distillery whiskey. And Gregor Hannah will also join us for a chat. So that is spooky exciting.
Yay! We will hear all sorts of stories related to these whiskies and beyond.
Beyond the grave.
Yeah. I'm excited about our new Halloween video, even if I don't even know what it is yet, for sure.
You'll get your costume and script soon, Inka. You know me,
Yeah,
I'm
it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
So, listeners, let us know what you think about today's topics. We would love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, meanwhile, you can follow us on Instagram at whiskysisters.podcast, at X, Whisky Sisters, and Facebook at Whisky Sisters Podcast.
Follow us, do it. And if MD can be bothered giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we will love you forevermore. We've not been begging for reviews for a while, but that super duper helps us. So we sprinkle the sugar on us. Thank you so much.
That would be good. And download those episodes. Come on, do it.
Bye, honey.
Bye.